Should be
Yeah.
recording.
All right. So, hi, everyone. My name's Chloe, and I'm Professor Nat's summer intern and future client success manager. Thank you guys so much for joining the How to Start Your Business webinar. So, we're just going to do a short introduction of everyone, and then Professor Nat will take us through the basics of how to start your business. And then, like Nat said, finish with time for a Q&A. And then we have a quick announcement of something that's a really exciting opportunity. So before we jump in, we want to hear from both of you. And so you could tell us your name and then what you currently do, and then what made you interested in starting a business. And I can start it. So my name is Chloe, and I'm the client success manager for school. And I want to start my own business focused on helping student athletes get scholarship money, like especially during the recruitment process. But I'll turn it over to you guys. So again, your name, what you currently do, and what made you interested in starting a business. Aiden, do you want to start? I know you kind of already went, but
Yeah,
go
I can
ahead.
start. Well, my name's Aiden. I just graduated from UD. I currently work managing a gym up in PA. And so a business sort of that I wanted to start is to start my own gym. I think there's part of the fitness industry, especially like targeted towards like advanced lifters or very serious lifters that hasn't
Mhm.
fully been explored. I mean, like you'll see commercial gyms out there that are targeted towards like beginner and intermediate lifters, but I still think there's just sort of like a little bit of a missing piece that isn't fully explored yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And then John.
Yeah, so um, I'm John. I'm from Middletown, New Jersey, going into senior year at UD. Um, and this is a very general answer, but very textbook too. I'm looking to start a business, have no idea what it's going to be yet, but I want to do something that I'm interested in and skilled at, and that people actually need, and something that I'm passionate about. Kind of the intersection of those three things. So I think I want to discover those three things more in depth, um, through talking to people, figuring out like what certain markets need, and what they want, and if I can start a business through providing those services.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for sharing. So I know you both know him, but I'm still going to formally introduce Professor Nat. He has spent the entirety of his career as an entrepreneur, starting, building, and or exiting 10 plus different companies. So right now he coaches entrepreneurs in various industries on how to start and sustain their business. And he's also a professor and he teaches and guest lectures for courses on entrepreneurship at various universities. And I'm actually his former student and I love this class. And so today he's here to teach us how to start a business.
Yes, thank you, Chloe. A round of applause for Chloe. You can clap or wave. This is American Sign Language for a round of applause. Did you know that? So years ago, John, before you and I went, but uh, I traveled to Australia. We went to the Deaf Olympics. It's the Deaf Olympics, and this is so. Thank you, Chloe. Round of applause for you all. I like doing that on Zoom. And welcome. It's great to see you all here. We are also recording this because we're going to be sharing this across different channels, like my YouTube channel, our new school community that Chloe's going to tell you about that we're standing up just now, and other places. And the I will first and foremost edify Chloe as one of my best former students. She got a really good grade in the class, and is also super interested in getting going, starting her own thing someday. So kudos to you, Chloe, for not only having uh, the spark and the idea, but already like a very defined target, which is what we're going to talk a little bit about today. I have three big like parts to tell you about in my little lecture, which will take about 10 or 15 minutes. And in part two, we're going to talk about how important it can be to know a very defined market. So, Chloe, thanks for hosting today, and kudos to you on um, like targeting this niche of high school students who want to find scholarships and get more money from scholarships. What a great pain point. Who doesn't want that? So let me go ahead and share my screen. And like I said, for today, we are recording this, but throughout the time, and we have a great intimate group on today. So if you have any questions, just, you know me, if you've been in a class with Professor Nat, raise your hand, interrupt me, type in the chat. Chloe's going to help to facilitate the chat as well. So throughout this whole part, if there's questions, things you want to make sure you raise, we'll leave some time after this little lecture of about 10 to 15 minutes for the Q&A, and specifically questions could be about, Aiden, you want to start a gym? Great. Like, let's get into the nitty gritty of how to find serious lifters, and where they are. So welcome to our webinar officially today. This is about how to start a business, simple, sustainable steps for success. Chloe said I've started 10 plus businesses. That is true. And I will add a caveat that the very first one that I list on that list was a juggling camp that I sold to kids' birthday parties when I was in early high school. I had one client call me because I put up a flyer in the local supermarket. It didn't work out. And so my total sales in exiting that venture when I graduated from high school were $0. So I have worked on businesses that have been flailing and failing. And then I have worked on some that have been really successful. And because of the work I do as a coach and consultant for different entrepreneurs in different industries, I've been a party to or have had access to some of the best entrepreneurs in the world, people who are living their dream, pursuing their passion, and making millions and millions of dollars. So that's the end of where this whole series of lectures on entrepreneurship is. But the big question today is, how do I get started? Why me? And why this and why now? I get at least 3 or 4 emails or calls a month from former students. And they ask me this question. They want to know where to start and how to start a business. And so what it's done is force me to create the curriculum for today's webinar, which is all about where you just get started. And this is my answer to you today, which I would love not only your thoughts on, but at the end, a little bit of Q&A. 3 simple steps. Step 1 is start today. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into each one of these. We'll probably spend the most amount of time in step 2, because I think it's the most important and a little bit more complex. But step 1 is start today. Just start, just do it. Just start today. Step 2 is start selling today. I'll tell you how you can do this. This doesn't mean that you start asking people for money or even telling people, here's my product, you must pay me now. But I'll tell you how that process can begin. And you should start selling today. It should happen today. And step 3 is surmise savvy savings. So if you know me in a different forum, you don't know me behind the scenes as an entrepreneur, I have run my ventures lean and mean since day one. And I have also witnessed, been a party to, and been business partners with entrepreneurs who live by the mantra, which you may have heard before: spend money to make money. You got to spend money to make money. That is wrong. You don't, especially in today's world. It is July 30th, 2026, as of the recording of this webinar. You can start businesses today with $0, and I will show you how to do that. So let's get into part number 1. This is it. Part 1 is one single slide, and it's a chart that was recently posted by a great connection and a good friend of mine, who started a company called Carvertise that wraps cars in advertisements. Some of you all here are Blue Hens. It's a Blue Hen University of Delaware alumni run company. Greg and Mac just posted this on his LinkedIn, and I know he believes in this because he lived it. So they had an idea when they were in college that advertisers could wrap cars and pay the driver. So it was at a time when like Uber and Lyft were kind of just getting off the ground. And then a million other apps emerged in this micro economy where people want to use the things they already have to make a little money. Airbnb, delivering food, you name it, you name it. And they didn't wait to get their first client. They didn't wait to figure out the technology of how to wrap a car. They didn't wait to find the right partners or even get money. They started by going to a local supermarket and asking people if they would want to make a little bit of money by having their car wrapped with that supermarket's um, advertisement on the side. It was an Acme market, and they were literally knocking on people's car windows going, would you want to make like $100 a month if we could put Acme on the side of your car? And then they took that information they learned in the parking lot, got a meeting with the Acme director of marketing, and said, hey, you have 50 drivers here. Here's a list of 50 drivers. They all said they want to do this. This is the story that is as old as time. Start now, start today with your venture. The longer you can stick around in business, the better, the more advantages. Of course, there's other things involved, like figuring out what your brand is or messaging is, but it's a key important lesson. And obviously, if you can't divulge from the graphs here, the top one is someone who started their business today, meaning right there at the 0 on the x-axis, if the x-axis here is time, which it is. And notice, they didn't make great progress right away, but over time they made little incremental progress. So if you're in business for 1 year versus 10 years and all other things are the same, the 10-year business will be more successful. I wanted to pause here and just put in the chat, like, what's something that's gotten in your way in the past or is getting in your way right now? Just take 30 seconds in the chat. What's something that's gotten in your way or is getting in your way from starting your venture right now? Starting your business. What is it? Tell us in the chat. I'll even encourage, if you're watching this on YouTube later, tell us in the comments, what's the thing that's stopping you? Chloe says, money and connections. We will dispel those myths, Chloe. We will dispel them. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is getting in your way? Find the right customer, John. Yep. Yeah, high upfront capital, Aiden. Yep, for sure. We can for those watching this later in the chat, we have money and connections, not knowing, finding the right customer, and then high upfront capital costs or potential money that needs to be spent with the way you've envisioned your business being. I would argue that the two founders of Carvertise, which I love them, they are fantastic. And they've built now, by the way, a multi-million-dollar business. They have multiple employees. They were wrapping cars for the World Cup recently in every World Cup city for different bigger FIFA sponsors. They would tell you they had no money and no connections. They had no idea who to talk to, and they had printed flyers from UD was their upfront capital that they needed to spend. So there's a way to do all of this without having to spend a ton of money or a ton of time, but get started today is the first lesson. I'll go back here just a slide. The second lesson is start selling today. And this part, I'm gonna get some feedback from you all in the audience as well. So if you're bought into starting today, which is almost more of like a philosophical, bigger picture why, the second step here is about starting to sell today, and you can do it. You can start selling your dream today. Does anyone know? You could do this in the comments too if you're watching this on YouTube later. Does anyone know where this picture is from? This is a famous picture in the world of entrepreneurship.
I do because you just told me.
Okay, Chloe, tell us where this picture. This is a famous viral picture from not that long ago.
Yeah. You said it was a fire festival. The guy who said took everyone to the Bahamas and said all these artists were going to come and it was going to be amazing. almost kind of like Coachella, I think. And then everyone showed up and there was nothing there. And so that was the VIP breakfast for lunch.
Yeah. Part of
Yeah.
your homework after after this webinar is to find, I think it's still on Netflix or Hulu, or there's a Hulu version and a Netflix version, but the documentary is about the Fire Music Festival in the Bahamas. There was an entrepreneur named Billy McFarland. He sold VIP tickets in packages. He had a massive media company help him to pay celebrities to promote it. And he took in all these people's money. They flew to the Bahamas for this massive music festival concert type event for multiple days. And nothing was set up. The stages were half built. They didn't even have tents for people, and they were supposed to be like staying on luxury yachts. Nothing was done. It wasn't produced. The product wasn't created yet, but Billy had sold it. Now, I need to pause and make sure you all know he ended up in prison for this because what he did was not only unethical, I would argue, immoral, but was illegal as well, like proven in a court of law. So he went to prison for this and other schemes that he came up with. But when we talk about starting to sell today, this is the way of the entrepreneur. This is the way of the entrepreneur. And yes, Chloe, when everyone landed in the Bahamas for the music festival, this was the gourmet lunch buffet that they had promised with your thousands of dollars type ticket. And so somebody tweeted this out and the whole thing fell apart. They actually thought they were going to be stuck in the Bahamas, etc. But what lessons can we take from this? Well, as entrepreneurs who want to help students with scholarships, or maybe John get into marketing consulting. That's kind of what I heard you say in your answer. Or Aiden start a gym. Whether you're willing to start today and spend 4 hours a month or 400 hours a month on this project, or you have the time to be able to do it, you can start by getting information and data from people. So start to share with them. Chloe, yours is a great example. Hey, I want to help solving this problem. Reach out to, you asked who the right connections are. Your first clients will probably be people you already know. So I think we often think we need to, like Aiden, open a gym and fling the doors open, have a ribbon cutting, and hope that 20 people walk in off the street. That sometimes happens for McDonald's franchises when they open, but it's because it's supported by millions and millions of dollars of marketing and directing people, and it's in a prime real estate location, and they have the capital to do all of that. For the entrepreneur, I don't challenge you to be a Billy McFarland. Don't end up in prison, don't cross those ethical guidelines, but I do challenge you to channel that thought. So many entrepreneurs kind of get to the point, young entrepreneurs, young professionals, and old entrepreneurs. I've talked with many CEOs transitioning out of their very successful businesses and they want to branch out on their own, but it all has to be perfect before they take it to market. The best companies in the world do not do that. Apple's first iPhone was awful. It wasn't perfect. They know that that's part of the process. So the thing that you can do to start to sell today is go interview, get information, and understand who your current people in your network are that could either help you with information or being a potential future buyer. When I was part of the team that started a team building company in 2006 and 2007, I was your age. Our first clients came from our other partner's best childhood friend who ran an HVAC company. So they brought us in for a team building event. And AstraZeneca, the pharmaceutical company, because someone's wife worked there. It is not rocket science, but I think it's a major tripping point. More recently, and I have millions of examples like this, but the niche market in the work that I do on the professional side is coaching former pro athletes to help them get their speaking businesses started. I've been doing that work for a couple of years, but I've been specifically in that world for the last year, and I've done almost 200 customer discovery calls because I have the time. It's my focus, it's my full-time focus. And that community was founded, a group of about 150 people now. It's up to like 143, I think, on our Patreon community and page. A year ago, that number was 0. And a year ago, the business was all focused on helping people become better speakers. It has rapidly evolved because I have sold while developing the product into something completely different. It's all focused on the business side now, which is the coaching and consulting that I do. So how does this relate to us as young entrepreneurs, and how do we channel our inner, again, don't cross the line, but our inner Billy McFarland? It's to I was surprised that the answers of what's stopping you today are money and connections, not knowing the right customer, and high upfront capital, because so often it's actually like our own self-belief in being able to do this. Reach out to people in your network, find out who may be helping, and John, if you're deciding, you could start 10 businesses today. Right? Build them all out, because in your network, maybe you have someone that wants to be in the higher ed world or the coaching world or the marketing consulting world. And in fact, there's probably people in your network that have a little bit of all of that. So start selling today.
What's with the cheese sandwich?
So this cheese sandwich, John, was what Billy McFarland provided to people who bought their VIP package tickets for his music festival, and promised them a gourmet buffet dinner. And this is what they handed them.
I got you.
They handed them this. So I'm telling you to not do that, but I'm telling you to think like that. Think about what you could deliver. If he had said, hey, the ticket's $100, fly down to the Bahamas, we might have 1 or 2 bands, and we're going to give you a cheese sandwich, great. Great. He wouldn't be in prison.
Right. There's no turkey or no ham in that sandwich. It's just fluff.
It's why this image went viral, because someone tweeted and said, okay, this entrepreneur sold us on nothing, a scheme, and he took our money. Wasn't worth it. So that's that. I spend the most time in the selling today part, and this is meant to be a little lecture just to introduce these three categories, which I'll go back to remind you where we are. Start selling today. So again, this doesn't mean you have to go sell a product today, but start building a network, start building up information, customer discovery, start exploring the market in which you want to work. Reach out to partners or potential customers. And start the process of understanding their wants and needs today, so that if they asked you, hey, I need this tomorrow, would you be able to say yes? So the last piece here, which I have just 2 slides for, is about surmising savvy savings. It's a lesson I wish I knew when I became a partner in the team building company. So in 2010, we thought we needed money, which we probably didn't in looking back. We blew through a bunch of money that we all put in, a couple $100,000. And so they put me in charge of the company, and I had nothing, but I went to do a workshop with this guy who wrote this book named Mike Michalowicz. And then we ended up doing a keynote talk together in New Orleans. And then I spoke at his conference about how this process of profit first can work with cultures. But this model and system and theory and book is called Profit First, and it completely changed my mind. I wish I read it before I started all of my businesses. We'll put a link to the book just because Mike's amazing and he's written multiple small business self-help books. But Profit First is a very different way of looking at business as an entrepreneur. The traditional entrepreneur thinks, I will sell a pizza for $10. It will cost me $5 to produce that pizza, our cost of goods. And so I will have a net of $5 at the end of the day. And then I'll have to pay somebody $5 an hour. So if we sell one pizza every hour, we break even. That's the basic math there. Mike Michalowicz. Oh yes, Chloe shared in the chat. That's great. Mike Michalowicz flipped this on his head and he said, no, you should be thinking about profit first. So what is the way that I understood this book is you first look at what's the amount of money you want to be making, and then you build the product from there, and you find the ways that you can identify the costs that need to be spent or paid. Every little part about starting a business, I told you earlier, you can do this for free in today's world, which is true. Will start to add up and cost you lots of money. If you're getting into a business that has some like dangers associated with it, you should be thinking about paying, if you're willing to start and open up, something for like specific licenses or potential insurances to really protect yourself as an entrepreneur. But a lot of entrepreneurs have started with a free Instagram handle. It's like a walking billboard. It can act as a website. It can act as a catch-all for messages. In Profit First, they would argue, as you notice up above, the things that are crossed out are those like traditional business expenses. You have to buy an office space and pay rent and utilities and supplies and payroll and taxes. You don't. If you're willing to think creatively and potentially do a little extra work, if you're thinking through on what the amount of money is you want at the end, as opposed to how much the pizza is going to cost, it's a bit of a flip on its head. Right after I read this book, we were running the team building company, and I took our entire inventory, and we had like 20 cornhole boards, giant tricycles, big giant fuzzy dice, all this crap we would take to companies to produce these big picnics and events, and we'd make them really fun. I moved it all into my tiny little basement at the house that I lived in, because we didn't need storage. We didn't need to be paying for storage. The operation was me and a couple part-time people. And then I was told by my other partners we should fire everyone, all of those part-time and full-time people, which was a good decision. And we did my first day on the job. But it was because we were looking at it through this lens of profit first. So I wanted to end this webinar, because as we talk about like starting today, start doing the customer discovery and selling, like telling people explicitly in this customer discovery interviews, I'm going to be doing this. I want future customers. Can you help me? And really surmising where you can save. I thought I would offer a question, my final question, and you can tell us your answer in the chat. And then we'll open it up. And Chloe, I'll turn it back over to you for some Q&A. So Company A is here on the left. It's our original company. Company B is the variant. It's over here on the right. It's the green company. In academia, we like to do A/B testing, basically where we're testing, a single variable. So what's your answer in the chat? Would you rather be in charge of an owner or partner, whatever you want to call it, of company A, where you can see what they've done? They've bought a computer. They've paid a consultant $5,000 to build this brand new website. They are up and running, and they're paying someone to manage that website $1,000 every week. Or company B, who borrowed this computer from their cousin, started a free website on GoDaddy, realized they could just do an Instagram page as well, and paid $0 for consultants because they leveraged free, especially in today's world, free Claude or versions of GPT to build and design the website. There are arguments for both sides here, but which company would you rather be a partner in? Which company would you rather run and own and be the entrepreneur in charge of? A or B? A or B? A couple people answered B. Aiden says A. I can't wait to hear the reasoning. There are valid arguments for either side, but to get started today, you can do a beta B version. And I would argue, and this is what I teach. So I teach some really high-level executives, former pro athletes, Olympians. I teach them this same thing because they are wasting money on the things that they see value in, but that they think they need to spend on. So Um, let me go, I'll go back, I'll tie a bow. This has been my little lecture on how to start a business. I hope it's helpful. And like I said, we'll open up to questions, but just start today, start the process of selling today, and really think about surmising those savvy savings. So, Chloe, what do you got? Time for questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nat. Yeah, we want to make sure that there's plenty of time for questions. So this is your guys' opportunity to ask Nat anything related to starting a business, developing an idea, or navigating the early stages of entrepreneurship. I'm going to start with one question and then the floor is completely open to you guys. So, Nat, how do you find your first customer?
Yeah, a great question. I think I'd go back to part two in the selling, and I would say, like, look through your current existing network, right? It also means you don't have to spend any money on marketing. Um, if you want to start, if I was your age, okay, and I wanted to start a pizza or sandwich shop, I would call the guy who I knew at the time who ran the Subway at Hershey Park where I worked. I wouldn't have done that when I was your age because it's weird, it's odd, it sounds like interesting advice. Like he'll see me as a competitor. No, I can't talk to him. I used to work for him. I've graduated from Hershey Park. No, Chloe, I would need to call Ali and say, hey, can I please pick your brain? I would love to start my own shop someday. And he would say yes. And he would help me. And he might even become a customer. He doesn't eat Subway every day of his life. At least I don't think he did. So that's it's going to come from your network, and this is a hard lesson for seasoned entrepreneurs to know too. We forget about the power in our existing network and who knows us. They just might not know what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So like obviously like when you have like an idea to start a business, like a lot of it's just like brainstorming, like thinking it through. Like I'm a very logical thinker, like
Mhm.
going through step by step. I know like in the first part, like step one or whatever, or like start today, right?
Mhm.
At what point do you, I guess, figure out when you're really like completely sold in on this idea? Is that from like day one, or are you starting this idea and sort of just seeing how it goes? And then obviously failure is going to be a part of it. But like I guess when do you or how do you find yourself fully bought in? Like when do you find yourself at that point?
Yeah. Great question. And I also want to excavate, Aiden, your answer for company A on our question from part three. I don't think you'll ever be ready. So I think it's really important just to start. And if you already know, which it sounds like you do, that it could end in total failure, that's great. Um, the best entrepreneurs I know do worst case scenario planning instead of, oh, we're going to start this gym and make $1 million. They say to themselves, okay, I've got $100. It's a lesson from intro to entrepreneurship called affordable loss. Um, on the money time, the resources time, and it has nothing to do with like your mindset of like, am I ready? It's just get started with what you're willing to lose right now. Um, because that other person's going to start the gym too. If that's what's going to have to motivate you, fear of competition or fear of being first. If you start now, Aiden, and reach out to some gym owners, ideas, potential clients, I wouldn't go to your current gym and say, hey, members, come join my gym. Again, that's that ethical line. I know you. I don't think you would cross that line. You could land you in major problems legally as well. But just starting now versus starting in a year, you'll be a year behind. So you may never be ready. And like, maybe you're thinking because the idea is going to evolve, it probably will too. And that's okay. It's always okay to re educate people. I think there's always an argument too for sort of being, and I'm definitely someone like this, uh, who's involved in everything or involved in lots of different things. You don't want to confuse that message maybe for different people. But if you have three ideas, pursue them all at the same time. Compartmentalize them. Put those three different ideas on three different spreadsheets. Go through your phone and add in the contacts from the people you think fit in column A, B, C, or two or three of the above. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then do you want me to go in why I chose company A?
Yeah, tell us all about it.
Well, I think like I graduated as a finance major,
Yeah.
and I think like pretty much like what's been hammered into your brain, especially like working or doing like just like financial classes and stuff, is like being risk adverse. And in a sense, if you have that company A and company B, um, from like a purely risk standpoint, you would choose company A. Um, that's sort of like why I chose it. Um, but I definitely like can see like the company B standpoint, especially after going through everything we did, where it's just more, I guess, to be honest, it sounds more fun, but um I can understand the B perspective, but I guess sort of just like being in that financial standpoint for 3, 4 years um
Yeah.
is just the
So
reason I chose A.
so you see like the spend as less risky, like spending a few $1,000s on getting a website done, on hiring a consultant.
Yeah, pretty.
Uh-huh.
I'd say so. Like, I guess in terms of, um, if we're talking like financially,
Mhm.
like I know my problem was capital, but like that I brought up earlier.
Mhm.
But I guess that's just sort of like my perspective of like sometimes it's worth to put that up front and I guess know what you're getting. Not
Mhm.
that doing it on your own is the wrong way. Um, but to have proven professionals, consultants, stuff like that,
Mhm.
um, just also seems very valuable.
Can be really valuable. Um, and different people have different thresholds of risk, right? $100 to me is different than what $100 to you means, and I don't know what that difference is. Um, but I've like my counter argument, Aiden, is I work with celebrity household name level people who've got nothing, and they're making more money than you could imagine as clients. So like they've never hired a consultant. They don't have a website. You'd never find them. They have a Gmail email address. It it can matter. It can matter. It can matter in like the branding and like the perception of value, but it doesn't have to.
Aiden, what if company A was more risky because you're spending all this money and it might not work out? That's a risk.
No, that's a great point. Um, I think it's one of those things. It's just like how much are you willing to spend? I think just from my perspective, it's like you sort of know what you're already going to get with company A. While probably it's not going to be as like morphed to your vision. Um, but I feel like in sense of if you're having consultants also come in, while yes, expensive, if they've done this hundreds, maybe even thousands of times, sometimes like they'll just know better than you and could probably do a better job than you. Um, just because that like this is probably their livelihoods, their jobs, stuff like that. But yeah, like I just think ha in some cases having that outside person coming in, um, just also gives you a different perspective on what like stuff you might not understand yet. Not that doing the personal ways the wrong way, but you know what I mean.
Mhm. Yeah, there's if there's a proven model, Aiden, in place, like a gym franchise would be that, right? A sure bet, if you will, because you get the support of the franchise, the branding, the marketing, the social media platform, the push, like all of that. Suddenly you have your own franchise within this bigger system. The risk lowers for success, but the initial input in terms of finances can be much greater. It depends. It completely depends. Um, my argument here is for just starting a business. uh, and we teach this I do different universities, but mostly at Delaware for the entrepreneurship program, the lean methodology. So it is about trying to do this while spending the least amount of money. And then I'd argue back that my friend who's a chief of staff at Price Waterhouse Cooper right now, PwC, massive consulting firm, they are doing this same thing. They are trying to save as much money as possible. They are laying off managers and hoping Claude can replace them. And I'm talking hundreds of people. So they're doing the same thing, but it isn't proven yet. They're not sure. But as it relates to this can be business specific or industry specific. My my solution for you, Aiden, too, which we can talk offline about, like um, the specifics of this, is build your own curriculum and program that you could put in existing gyms before you have to go buy a whole gym yourself. Um, it's like Amazon started in Jeff Bezos's garage. He didn't buy a warehouse. He was selling 15 books. I don't know. So like thinking creatively can elongate that runway. The longer the runway, the more sustainable. So yeah. I know uh Chloe, I want to turn it back over to you because I know we're coming up on time as well.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up, thank you guys again for joining today. Hopefully it was helpful and gave you some insights on how to start your business. But before we wrap up, I want to share something that we're really excited about, which is our school community. So school is, I put it in the chat, it's an online learning and networking space for young professionals who want to grow personally and professionally. It's completely free to join, and it gives you access to courses that focus on topics like today's webinar. It's also a collaborative space, so you can get in touch with both Nat and I. And we want to hear from you. The courses we create are influenced by you guys. So, like I said, the link is in the chat, and I'm also going to send a follow-up email. But thank you again for joining the webinar, and hopefully we see you in the school community as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks all. Good to see you all.
Now, I have one more question if you have time.
Sure.
So right now what I'm thinking is like, okay, I think I have like a problem or two that I want to like start like researching more, conducting customer discovery on.
Yeah.
To see like I guess like learn more about. I think my intention there is to like learn where there could be like a gap in the market of something.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. What are your thoughts on that?
Are you asking, should you start today with reaching out to people
I
in your
think
network?
partly, yeah, and then I guess partly feedback on that being one of the things to start with.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Like, start thinking about who in your network you can reach out to today to get ideas, thoughts, um, and explore and excavate whatever it is the market you're looking at, because through those conversations they will expose what's needed. Like I think I was telling you earlier today, John, that a year ago my Patreon community didn't exist, and I thought it was going to be about how to teach pro athletes to be better speakers. Well, that's not what they wanted. I did 200 interviews. I started today. My today was last August 1st, and did 200 customer interviews. And everyone told me two things emerged that were problems in the industry. So in the like speaking and training industry, one is they're all lonely. They're very lonely. So these are one person shops. I have a call tomorrow morning with a former NFL guy. It's on the schedule. He's a one person shop. He doesn't know what to do. He's retired. He has no teammates anymore, no friends, no endorsements, no game checks, no physical therapist, no nothing. This is very common. So they are lonely. So I can be their friend. I can be their community, their psychiatrist. I can't really do that work, but I can bring them into a group of people that are all lonely as well. Entrepreneurship's a lonely road. So that was number one. The second problem was they all asked me the same question. So let me get this straight, Nat. You go get me more speaking gigs. And my answer was no. I'm a coach. I can teach you how to find them, or I'm not a bureau. I don't have like 100 events where I can book you to be a speaker. Speakers bureaus book speakers. But we're solving that problem too. It's a major gap in the market, which of course every speaker wants more business because it's a weird industry. You can make good money to go work for a day. And so of course they want more leads, more business. So what did that spawn? A solution. Every month we meet on Zoom to share referrals and leads, like real business referrals and leads, which is really important. So we get together and we say, hey, Bob, meet Judy. You both speak in the team building world. I don't know. You two should share. Judy spoke at this conference last year. Bob should be the speaker this year. If they book him, Judy should make a referral fee from it. That's the system we built. And by the way, it's like the iPhone 1. It's not perfect. It doesn't look great, but it's a solution. It's an answer. So this is why we teach in intro to entrepreneurship, rapid prototyping. It's not always about a product. It's about rapidly re-understanding what people need and changing. If everyone on McDonald's app commented that their soda prices were too high, they would lower the soda price tomorrow. Because it's millions of data points. So, you might, John, too, go do this exercise and find there's like no gap in the market that you can fill. Well, glad you didn't build a website and spend thousands of dollars before knowing where to focus. So another argument for company B, I guess.
All right. Well, this has been helpful for me.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I think
Nat.
I
hope
just
to talk to
I
you
just
soon.
joined the school community.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, Aiden, anytime.
Aiden, you should definitely join school.
Do I just click the link?
Mhm.
All right. I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
Take
all.
care.
Have a good day. See ya.
You too.
Bye. Aiden, join school, man.
Did he join it?
Let me check. Well, I'm glad that John said something because then I was like,